Well, I hope this is working. Why? All right, I hope this is working. Now, I think I went through this last time, but if we look at chapter 11, I think I went through the slides, and I don't think we're using SQL Server Express Edition. But anyway, uh, we learned about the different SQL data types, what a primary key was, what we meant by identity columns. You know, you can have null values or not. Applications, how we have this application which is what we're going to make, and then we bind certain controls on our form to this intermediate data set, which is a sort of a local copy of the database tables that we're messing with. And then there's this table adapter which connects it to the actual database. And here is a nice tutorial application where we are actually creating a little database table and a little database application that uses this really cool feature in Visual Studio called Data Grid View. There's not too much like it in other programming languages, and so this is the section of what we're doing right now is just exposing you to databases. And so, we aren't teaching yet. If you take 148, you learn a lot more about databases and how to build applications that do all kinds of nice things. But in this case, in this course, the end of this course, we're just getting exposed to databases, so you can kind of get the idea of the components of a database, what a simple application will look like, and it's something that you're going to actually build yourself. So, so basically, all you got to do is, for this assignment, is to go through this example here, except for the database you're building is going to have a little bit more stuff in it, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Let's see what I have here. I want you to store names, addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses of friends. And I just want you to use Data Grid View. It's just very simple. So, so what I was going to do today is just to go over this, okay, and just to go through this example with the assignment in mind, how we do this. So, so we start by opening up. Okay, we're going to create this application here, and so we're going to start by first creating a Windows Forms application project, and then once we've created that, we're going to create a new database. And we're going to use this dialog box here to create a service-based database. And then all we do is we go through the steps here, and we we're going to create a new table. We create this table. We have our fields in there, and we name it, and enter all this stuff in. And then when we're done fixing up, making this table, then we actually are able to create a, you can show a table definition, and we can add some data in there ourselves. And wait a minute, there's more. We haven't gotten the data grid view yet. Oh, data grid view control. So here's where we actually do this, attach this data source to an application, to our phone book application, and we drag this over, and just by doing all this drag and drop stuff, we end up with a form that looks like this on our a list box that looks like this, and these controls up at the top to help us page through this form. And so that's basically what you're doing here, and that's it. So I've opened up Visual Studio here, and I'm going to create a new application. Let me just go to File, New Project, and I'm going to create a Windows Forms application, and I think I'll just put it on the desktop. Let me browse and go to the desktop, and I'm going to name it ITS128 Friends. And I'm going to change the thing up at the top here so it says, wait for it. RIENDS. I'm going to name it Rich Halverson's Friends. Right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a database to do that. So how do I create a database? Well, over here in the project section, click on the project, do a right click, go to add, and then go to add new item. And we are going to scroll down till I find a service-based database. Service-based database. And I'm going to name this service-based database ITS128 Friends. So now if we click on, well, so we should see it appear, there it is. And now we go over here on the left, and we click on Server Explorer, and we click down on Data Connections, and we see here we are, ITS128 Friends, which is exactly this thing over here. So we click down on this down arrow thing, it magically attaches, and we see that it turns into a green plug. And we can click on tables. We can click on this arrow thing. We notice there's no tables. Let's add a table. So right click on tables, and we click on add new table, and I'm going to pin this so I have more room here. And the first thing I'm going to do, so I don't forget, is down here where it says table, I'm going to name this My Friends, just so I make sure I name the table. And then for this ID here, this is going to be the primary key ID, and so I click on it, and over here on the right, I'm going to go to the ID properties, and I'm going to see where it says identity specification. I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm going to change is identity to true. And when I scroll down, it's got this default identity increment of 1 and identity seed of 1. So it starts out at 1. First friend that goes in is going to be 1. The next one's going to be 2. The next one's going to be 3, and so on. All right, so now right over here, we can actually add our fields. And I'm going to add a name field, and I'm going to say it's varchar 50. That's a good size for the name. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to space out so I do not allow that to be null. You got to put in a name for the person. Tab, tab, tab. I'm going to put address, tab. Varchar 50 is another good one for that. tab. You gotta have an address. And then I'm just gonna tab, tab, tab. And I think I'll put city, state, zip. Why not? City, varchar, 50 is a fine size for that. And say that's a required field. State, varchar. I'm gonna just make it 2. Say that's required. And zip, varchar, left parentheses 5. And that's required. And then I'm going to put phone, and I'm going to say varchar, I don't know, 15 or whatever, and that can be null. And I'm going to put email, and that can be varchar 100 or something. Okay, and that can be null. All right, so I have that's a fine table definition, and we notice down here it has built up the actual create table statement, which we will now execute, and it'll actually create the table over here, and we'll see it over here. So up here where it says update, I'm going to click on that update button, and this thing says preparing update script, and I'm going to click on update database right here, and update completed successfully. And so I'm going to go over here and click on this tables folder, hit the refresh here, and boom, there's my friends. Okay, so now I'm going to click on my friends, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say show table data. Oh, one thing I'm going to do is over here, see where the database is, ITS my friends. I'm going to change it to, from copy to output directory, I'm going to change it to copy if newer. All right, now I'm going to put some friends in here. I'm going to put Rich Alverson. Oops, sorry. Rich Alverson. 1234 Main Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96825. I wonder why it's got those exclamation points. All right. Second friend, maybe my wife, Christine David. Her last name is David. Also 1234 Main Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96825. Oops. 96825. And Joe Schmo 1180 Moku's Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96821. 555-1212. Joe at schmo.net. All right, that's fine. So now I've got 3 people in there, and I hope this works. That's if I hit refresh. Okay, so refresh. Okay, so I got a database there, and so now I'm going to create so now I have a form here, right? So I'm going to put something on that form. I have a so I'm going to create a data source. So I go over here, I click data sources. If you can't find it, click view. You can't find it here, select other windows and go up here and you'll find it. Eventually you'll find it. There it is right there, data sources, which creates, and so if there's no data sources, there's just a link here that says add data source. So I'm going to click on that link and I'm going to add a database, and then click next, data set, click next. This is the database that I created. Click next. and that's a fine name for a connection string. Click Next, and click on Tables, and click on Friends, and we want everything, so I'm just going to click on the X there, and then I'm going to click on Finish, and so let me pin this. Oh, so here we are down here. I'm going to open this up, and so these are all text fields, which is, oh, this is an integer field, but so when you click down here, we can either do a data grid view or a details view. You know, we can do both if you want to, but first I'm going to put a data grid view. I'm going to select data grid view, and then once I've selected it, I'm going to click here and drag it over and let go, and here's this. So let me bring this out, let me bring this out, let me make some adjustments to this table here. To do that, click on this little smart tag, and we're going to enable adding, editing, and deleting. That's fine. Let's edit the columns. The ID column can be quite small. Width can be 10 or something. And the name field can be, width can be, I don't know, 100. That's 100 right now, maybe 200. And the address field can be 200 maybe. And the city field can be 100 maybe. State field can be small, maybe 20 or something small. Zip can be, I don't know, 50. Phone number can be 100, and email can be, I don't know, 200, I don't know, whatever, 200. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And it looks like this now. And so if I run this, I'm going to run this, see what it looks like. And here are our 3 people. We can scroll through them like this. Okay, that ID field is awfully dang small. These other fields look kind of big. Address doesn't have to be as big. Actually, none of these have to be that big. So let me make them a little smaller. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go back to this little smart tag here, go back to editing columns, and I'm going to make the ID field just a little bit bigger, like how about 30? And how about if I make the name field, no, how about if I make the ID field 20? And I make the name field not 200, but 150. I'm going to make the ID field 30. This is 150. This can be 150. And the city can be, I don't know, 80. State is fine. Zip is pretty big, 40 maybe. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that might be a little better. See what this looks like. All right. So to add another one, we can just click there, and I can go Arthur Anderson, 21 Barton Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55414. I used to live there. and I don't remember what my phone number was. Doesn't matter though. Click anyplace else, and what happens? Click save. Oh. Let's see. I'm gonna. All right. So let me stop this, and it looks like I have to make some a little bit more slight adjustments, which is making the state be just a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll make the zip code just a little bit bigger. All right. Now another thing I can do is to make it look nice, I can click this and I can change it from my friends from data grid view to details view, and then drag this thing over like that, put it right there maybe, and then I got a nice little details view right next to it there. And this can be small. Oops, wait a second. Is that what I really want to do? Let me just undo that. I'm going to put it down here maybe and put ID can be pretty small. And can I make it so let's make it read only. Is that what I want, or do I want to enable defaults? I'm not sure. Let's see. And then I want to have a name here. And I can have an address here. And I may want the address a little bigger. And I want a city here. Let's see, where does this, how does this fit with respect to this? Make the state smaller. State and zip code. How's that? And below it, maybe below it, we can have a nice phone number. And a nice email address. Whatever. Okay. That looks just fine. Now when I run this, we see that there. And I can go, when I page through this, we see that looks like that. See, isn't that nice? So I can add my email address and my phone number. Everybody knows. And that looks fine. We notice it updates there. And I can click save, 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 save. And then I should be able to, oh, stop it and start it back up again, and it remains updated. So this updates, you can't change it though, which makes sense because you don't want to change it because the system itself puts that number in there. So anyway, so I'd like you to do this assignment, and then I'm going to give you like one more thing, and I'm going to copy. It's going to be the multi-form assignment, and really the multi-form assignment is going to be an application. It's a simple application that's got buttons on it, and you click on it, and it goes to all your other assignments. So the multi-form is going to be a multi-form for your assignments, and so it'll almost be like a portfolio of your programs, the programs that you wrote for this class. So does that make sense? All right, well, good. So that's great. That's really all I have for today. You guys can work on that. And easy database assignment. You should be able just to whip this out. And you'll feel good after that because why is the video off? Okay. You'll be able to start that, and I hope the video worked. Jeez. Anyway, all right. So do the assignment, and I will see you Tuesday. Thanks for watching.